Oh my God. Look at you. I don't have a pink
Thanks
sheer.
for coming.
Wait, look at that. I need one.
I was in LA last weekend and Akbar does the Madonna
Oh, I
birthday.
saw that. I know. I didn't
So
go.
they had these and, places to pose and take photos. It was crazy.
Was it so fun?
It was, but my goodness, I mean, you know how small that dance floor is.
Yes.
It was like this.
Was it a threshold?
I mean, a threshold would have been nice. It was like a sardine can. It was a lot. It was a,
I know. There have been so many Madonna parties here in LA, and I keep saying I'll go to one and then I go to none because
it's it's okay. It's
I'm an
exhausting.
old man with two children. It's too hard.
Exactly.
Too hard.
We just prefer to listen to the album 350 times.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Hi. Hi.
Hi, Abdi. This is so wonderful. This
I'm
is
so excited. So you know, in 1 hour I'll have to run. So just to,
absolutely.
you
We can
know.
do it. We
Okay.
can do it all in an hour. I am very excited to do this. It's been a long time since our series, and I think we were wondering, hey, when are we going to get to do another one? But I don't think anyone, Madonna included, would have expected that 7 years would be the next time that we would hear from her. Just really quickly, what has been this 7 year wait for you as a lifelong fan?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I want to remember everything that happened in the 7 year wait because it wasn't a 7 year drought. There was quite a bit that happened, right? She released a whole slew of remixes.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
she was working on a biopic. What else did we get from her in that 7 years?
Well, this is when I like put it all together and outside of, just the work, because yes, she had Veronica Electronica and the
Yeah.
bedtime stories and all of these, and she would always tease these little things, and we would think, oh my God, the new album is coming. And it's like, no, it's the 50 number ones, or it was kind of always
Well, of
something
course.
else.
Right. No, of course. Sorry. It's early in the morning. I had to drop the kids off. But we got the Warner Brothers deal was signed. We got the Bedtime
Yes.
Stories Untold Chapter. We got Veronica Electronica. We got quite a bit. I will say, I guess for me, when I think about the last proper Madonna album being Madame X, my memories of Madame X are I talk about it with my kids all the time who are now almost 15 years old. They're twins. I just saw Madonna's post about her twins turning 14, and I'm like,
Yes,
of course, Madonna and I both have 14-year-old twins. Of course.
exactly.
I mean, that woman just must copy me all the time. But those memories of Madame X are very wrapped up in pre-COVID life. We talk about like how we would like drive to play tennis, blasting Madame X, and it reminds us of that like that world. And post-COVID world feels so different. We've had so much division. I think in many ways we didn't learn the lessons we should have from a pandemic that could have united us in solidarity with each other. And instead, we've just seen wars everywhere, and we've seen so much division. We've seen in the United States, obviously, a return to the truly frightening politics of the first Trump era. And so I think in many ways, I guess what I feel after 7 years is we need her more than ever. Like this was the moment, like we really, as fans, but as a culture, as a global culture, need her. And I think she came back in the strongest way possible. Like I'm honestly, and because we've done every album together, that if I were to put American Life and Confessions One next to each other, American Life is my album. So if you were to tell me like she's doing American Life 2 and Confessions 2, which is kind of what she did, right? And did I
Yeah.
not predict that in our series?
Mm-hmm.
I did predict that. So I'm in
She
tune with
heard
it.
it. She lilistened to it. She's like, yeah,
I mean, come on.
Abdi's right.
She's like, he's right, he's right. But I really think this is the one. Like this is the one where she said the things she needed to say. And I think the beauty of it to me is that it's much more confessional than Confessions 1. And what scared me when I heard about Confessions 2 is I crave Madonna at her most personal, her most raw, her most like, I think that's when she's most powerful, is when she's being really truthful about herself and the world. And this album is so personal and deep and vulnerable. And she really like connected to some source, like her greatness. I mean, she is a true artist, and I feel like she went deep into the well of her artistry.
I think when I was thinking about our conversation and really kind of everything since the album was released, yes, during that 7 year period were all of those musical and work elements that she had, but in a very short period of time she was surrounded completely by death, by
Yeah.
herself almost dying, by both of her brothers, or two
Hmm.
of her brothers, her stepmother, all
Hmm.
in such a very short period
Yeah.
of time. And I think something just really kind of clicked over, and not necessarily like a direct mortality kind of way, because there's kind of always something about her that feels immortal. And
Hmm.
I almost think that she feels that way in a certain sense too. But this, I think, really opened her up to have these very personal and vulnerable conversations, and she has throughout her career. In
Well, yeah, it's interesting you brought that up about death because long before this round of, facing mortality that she has had to deal with both in her own health scare and in her family and loved ones. I always used to say, pre all this, that the great theme of Madonna's work is death and the desire to use life to both celebrate those who are
Yeah.
gone too soon and to inspire others to make the most of their life, to live to the fullest, because we don't know. So much of her young life was marked by the death of her mother, followed by the death of so many of her closest friends and collaborators, to AIDS related complications. And then you have so many people in her close orbit who died in horrific ways, like Versace or Carice, or it's just all over her life. And I think in many ways this album is the embodiment of that. And I can't believe I'm even saying this in the year 2026, but I think this is one of her best albums. I think it is on that very short list that I would put, with my favorites of all time. And I think a lot of that is because I think it's the most purely Madonna album. It is like it's so her. It's everything that is like that makes her. Madonna is in this album, including the theme of death and the desire to live life to the fullest because we know it is short and fragile. Um, and yes, I pronounced it fragile. And
Hmm.
um, maybe my favorite song on the album, but we'll get there. Um,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, yeah. But I think and it's also so personal, and I think that, we talk so much as fans about Madonna never being willing to look back, but I've never fully understood that because she has looked back so often. She's written so often about her mother, about her childhood, about her family. Um,
fame, price of fame,
yeah,
all of it. Yeah.
right. Right. But I think the thing that makes this album so unique is it's like she took everything she immersed herself in for the biopic, probably, all that
Yeah,
research that she was posting on Instagram, all the old, like archival stuff she was engaged in, and she wrote an album biopic instead. I mean, she
yeah.
really traces her journey from childhood to New York to the club scene to motherhood to loss, grief. I mean, it's an immense album. I don't even know
It,
what to say.
it really is, and we're gonna get into the individual tracks in a moment. But something else sort of struck me too is that really throughout her entire career, almost with so many albums, she she creates a persona,
Yeah.
and come what comes with that is a hair and a look and a name sometimes that
Yeah.
really identifies that period. And one thing that this doesn't really have kind of is that she's had the
Yeah.
same hair for what I think, like, since Madam
Yeah.
X. And I think that she's, not to say that she's not herself all the time. I think this is the truest version of her. She
Yeah.
doesn't have a persona. This isn't Madame X. This isn't Dita. It's
No.
her.
Yeah. I agree. There's something about it that feels elemental, if that's the right word. Like she's boiled herself down to the core of who she is now. And right down to to me, like so much of what makes Madonna, because you're right, perhaps there isn't like a look associated with this era. But the minute the album cover was revealed, I felt so moved because, and some people on Instagram fought me on this, but I know I'm right because I noticed that she was the pink triangle. And
Oh yeah,
and then I got a couple comments being like, that's a reach, or, people were DMing me like, and I'm like, no, no, no. This is the most intentional artist of all time. Like, don't tell me that she is draped in a sheer piece of fabric that forms a triangle in bright pink on her album cover and that it's not intentional. And of course, we now know it is.
yeah.
Um, but I was so moved because to me, it was like she's also reconnecting with so much of what makes us, I think, as older gay men. Are we allowed to call ourselves older?
I
Elder?
think so. Elder
I
is good. I like that.
I want to be an elder. Someone called me an elder last year, and all my friends who are my age got very upset by it because I embraced it. And they're like, we're not elders. And I'm like, but I want to be an elder. And the reason I
Hmm.
want to be an elder is because, as you know, many of us didn't foresee surviving this long. I mean,
Sure.
I grew up before we knew that HIV would someday be something that you can, you know, take prep for, that you could be undetectable, that you could eventually have a long life. And, I think Madonna's so much of her connection to us and to her most loyal fan base is because of her advocacy around LGBTQ issues, HIV, AIDS, the eradication of shame and stigma. Like she was the symbol of that. I've always also said that like her survival, I think, has been wrapped up in our survival. Like when I see her survive,
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I can too. She is our avatar, right?
absolutely.
And so to see that image, I immediately felt like she was connected to something deep. I'm like, oh, and so to me, the album does have a visual identity, even if it doesn't have like a persona.
Hmm.
All the Club Confessions things, the kind of the color scheme, the graphics, everything feels like it's connecting back to the source of her creativity that comes from New York in the 80s, from that art scene. Um, I was talking to someone recently too about like how annoying it is that everyone always talks about like who's the next Madonna, who's the next Madonna, and compares every single like female pop star to her. And I think it's annoying to Madonna and also annoying to all these other artists who deserve not to be compared. But
Yeah,
but what I said was like there can't be another Madonna because to have another Madonna, you have to have another underground artistic subculture that a Madonna could be born out of. Madonna, if there is to be another one, she can't be born of like the Disney Channel or TikTok or like Madonna was born of a subculture that was hidden that included people like Basquiat and Keith Haring and that where she was allowed to kind of like cook her creativity there
Yeah.
and build her artistic core there. And it's so evident in this new record that that's who she is.
It 100% is. So let's dive in.
Okay.
Let's go. And we'll start with the opening song, I Feel So Free.
And is this,
Now,
I mean, I tend to be very bad with stuff like that. This is the first thing we heard, right, of the album?
yes, the first promo was
Okay.
this, was
Okay.
this. Even before, we knew that, Bring Your Love and Sabrina Carpenter of it all was going to be there.
Oh my God, that Coachella moment. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yes, yes. Tell me your thoughts on I Feel So Free. And as an opener, because it is really interesting looking at the first three songs, Good for the Soul and One Step Away, and which ones have kind of some opening spoken word, which there is
Yeah.
so much in this album, which I love so much.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Yes.
I want
So
her to.
what do you think of I Feel So Free?
I mean, I absolutely love it. Like, I don't know how anyone could not love it. It's a perfect opener. I think the spoken word sections are so beautiful. And I actually didn't remember that they came from the Stephen Klein video she did. Did you see that? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't quite remember that. So that was very interesting to me. I love the kind of evocation of Donna Summer and Georgia Moroder with the I Feel Love, obviously. Like the title, the energy of the song, I think is very much nodding to the people who inspired her. And that's something I love in this too. Contrary to what many people believe, I find Madonna to be the most generous of artists in that when she does get inspired by someone, And I
Yeah.
think many of her fans can attest to the fact that like she introduced us to so many of our other favorite artists. Like I wouldn't have known who Pedro Almodovar was at a young age were it not for Madonna
Yeah.
or Frida Kahlo was, or she's always like referencing her favorite authors, artists, musicians, and she's obviously covered I Feel Love, on in the Confessions Tour one, but right, it was I Feel Love that she did.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and this is the song where she says that she creates a new persona
that's
just
right.
to
Yes.
speak of what we were just talking about. And it's it's always kind of interesting and funny to me when a superstar will speak candidly about something like on this song of not being comfortable,
Hmm.
because what's been created by this superstardom is such a removal of like a core and basic community. And I can't think of anything more central to her than a dance floor and that community
Yeah.
that it creates.
Yeah. One, I mean, the anonymity of the dance floor, the ability to go there and just be one among many, safety in numbers. Um, I'm sure that that does mean quite a bit to her post fame. I think it meant a lot to her pre fame, obviously, but post fame, it might be one of the only spaces where she can still disappear in that way into a group, into numbers, because there are who are her peers, who are people where she can disappear and feel like she's one of a community.
Yeah.
Um, like that would be, I think, a very hard part. And I think fame is is really awful. Like I would never want to be famous. I know people who are famous. It's kind of isolating and hard, and very few people are made for it. I think Madonna is, but it's a very destructive force. And I think that song is so beautiful. And her ability, I think the fact that at her age and the place she is in her career and life and her level of fame to be able to still even think that way is so powerful. And it's so much of why I always think like, why did Madonna survive? How does Madonna survive when virtually nobody in her position does? what are her tools? And I think that's one of them, the ability to still go out and be one among a group of people dancing, exploring subcultures, traveling and finding new places to be inspired. And whatever people think of Madame X, I happen to love it. But I think there is no Confessions 2 without Madame X. Like I think she did find some rebirth in those musical communities. And I think that so much of her survival comes from curiosity. And and I think this song really speaks to that. I don't know. I love it. And I love Madonna speak singing. It is one of my favorite things
I
ever.
I do too, and that goes right into Good for the Soul, which is everything begins with consciousness, and just it's so spacey, and it just reminds me of being in junior high on a roller skating rink trip at school.
Interesting.
It we used to do that a lot, and we'd have like roller skating like competitions in class, but it reminded me a lot of that because it was also something that you could do really solo, but feel yourself. It was really just a lot like dancing anyway.
Yeah.
And it just, and the room was always like, sort of like spacey looking, lots of stars and lasers and stuff. And when I hear this, that's what I think of immediately.
Oh, that's so interesting. I love that. I was never like a big roller skating person, so I wouldn't even. But
I
then
was for a little while.
that relates to the Sorry video in Confessions 1, back to the
Hmm.
roller skating vibes. No, I think Good for the Soul is so good. It's actually of the album, maybe the one that's grown on me the most. Like I think when I first listened to it, I was like, this one's good. And then I had all my other favorites. And it's the one that the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, oh, this one has really grown. I know Madonna loves her astrology. Um,
Yes.
I love all the lyrics that are talking about the stars and the planets. I think it's so much of it, again, it feels personal to her. It feels like she's talking about what her values are and that to her and so much of what this album is about is like dance music is not superficial. I mean, we'll get to that with One Step Away, but that it is about consciousness, it is about feeding your soul, it is about community. She is stating intentionally upfront in the album that she's not making a record that is surface.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah, I love
I love it too. And yes, then we go right into another
it. Oh,
spoken word little masterpiece with One Step Away. And there are so many, not just like influences on this album, but as cohesive as the flow is, there's everything. There is disco and house and trance. And she even like really name drops those exact things on the album just to
yeah,
make
she
sure that
does.
you know. And I love it. And also getting into funk elements that were an early part of her career as well. I think I was just more surprised at the idea of what Confessions 2 was going to be. I was nervous. I was cautiously optimistic.
Mhm.
But what we got, and especially as it unfolds in these opening numbers, is just ended up surpassing anything that I could have even thought.
Well, I mean, look, this relates back to me to Confessions 1 and to my fraught relationship with it. Like I recognize it as a great album. I love it. I love the tour.
Yeah.
Amazing. But I sometimes felt like the desire among some of her fan base for more of that was very annoying to me because the
Mm-hmm.
Madonna I like is the Madonna who follows her own creative path, who surprises us with her choices, who collaborates with artists from all over the world in different genres. And I sometimes find the Madonna fans like are want to put her in this box of kind of like white gay guy pop music. And I'm like, no, let her be this voracious artist who wants to do everything. And so I was a little nervous when Confessions 2 was announced that she
Hmm.
was going to make kind of like whatever basic dance music, you know.
Just the name alone was like,
Yeah.
what?
The name alone felt like a what, but what really, as soon as I started hearing the songs, I'm like, oh, she's such a genius. Like she calls it Confessions 2, and it's not at all Confessions 2 in the sense of it's repeating what she did in the past. It's Confessions 2 in the sense of she's moving into the future. She's exploring different styles of dance music, moving more, if Confessions on a dance floor was more inspired by disco and the 70s, here she's going like 90s forward. She's exploring
Hmm.
more vulnerable things. A lot of it to me feels lyrically and emotionally much more similar to Ray of Light than Confessions, to be honest.
I
Like
like
there's
that.
so much vulnerability in it, and erotica actually.
Oh,
In
yes, especially
quite a bit of
later.
yeah, but one step away when the Confessions the film came out. One step away was the thing that stood out to me the most, even though Danceteria was obviously so fucking exciting. One step away was the piece I kept replaying and replaying. There was something so hypnotic about the song, but also about her movement in that piece of the film. I
On
love
the
on the
table, just
table.
the
Yes,
movement and just smashing the glass. I was just
that's
like,
my
be
favorite.
careful, Madonna.
That's my favorite part of the film. I mean,
Yeah.
again, Danceteria is magic, and I can't complimented enough. But for whatever reason, Madonna on that table to One Step Away is the thing that moves me most. And I find the lyrics to One Step Away to just be so beautiful. Her vocals, which, I know many of us have different relationships to her use of autotune. I happen to love it for the most part, but I also think it's
Hmm.
about how it's used song per song. But her vocals in One Step Away were so, I mean, I'm so moved by the way she sings Freedom and her, right?
Freedom. Oh my God. I mean, and that was one of the great things about the film is that we had heard some of the songs, but we were getting snippets of so
Yeah.
many more. And when we got to Freedom, I
Ugh,
I was I was elevating. I was on the way to heaven, absolutely out of my body. Yeah,
same, same.
incredible.
It's incredible. I think that song is it feels to me very Ray of Light. It feels very emotional. It's a dance song, but it's also like kind of a ballad in a way. Like it's
Yes.
it's yeah, I think especially as a third song on the album, it's very much of like a statement on what this album is. And I think it's really beautiful that, when you think about I Feel So Free and Good for the Soul, neither of them is like the most personal song on the record. Like they're all coming, right? Her past is about to be explored. And
Yes.
so for her to say in One Step Away, that piece about like understanding the violence and the trauma you survive, and then in the album, she's going to explore the violence and trauma she survived, and also the joy and the celebration and all the beautiful things.
Hmm.
Um, but it very much feels like this song is setting us up for what's about to come.
Again, maybe the most intentional artists that we have.
Yes,
Always. Nothing is an accident.
never, which is why we love.
um, yes. All right. Let's go to Bring Your Love because I've had sort of a mixed relationship with the
Tell
idea
me.
of Madonna collaborating because she's always been such a solo and individual artist, even on, albums where she does have things. And I the irony of what I'm about to say is that because this song is so much about not focusing on, you know, sales and numbers and all of that, one thing that I always have kind of taken with me in Madonna's era of chart domination was that she was doing it as a solo artist. So
Hmm.
while another artist may have more number ones, she's all of hers are solo. It's a different thing. So it's not that one is bad or one is good, but I do like thinking about that her work is so primarily solo. But
Yeah.
I love Bring Your Love. I love that it's with Sabrina Carpenter because it is a fraught balance, like you were saying earlier about who is the next Madonna, who is the heir, who
Yeah.
is the princess of pop. Because it was Britney Spears for a really long time, and now it
Who is nothing like Madonna. Britney
yes,
Spears could
and
not be more dissimilar to Madonna. I mean, my God.
exactly. Let people be one of one. It's
And
really
that's
okay.
not a dig on Britney. I love Britney. She's
No,
just not, there is no similarity to Madonna outside of the
not
fact
at
that she makes
all.
pop music.
So what I really loved this collaboration a great deal because I don't know. I think there is something so fantastically playful about Sabrina Carpenter's
Yeah.
sexuality. Uh, and I think that is there are obviously Madonna is like that as well. She's very serious about it, but there is great humor to her
Yeah.
sexuality too. And I think it's such a cool combination having these two. And it is very much like I'm going to impart some hopefully some wisdom on you so that you can have longevity and not
Yeah.
be, a flash in the pan.
Yeah. I just, I would like to take a quick pause because I think anyone who reads this, I would like to convey this message. I remember being young and loving Madonna, and sure, it was exciting when I would read in a magazine that she was on top of the world. But as a kid, I don't think I really understood that much what the Billboard charts were. I mean, it wasn't something I cared about. We bought an album. We didn't buy more than one variant. We listened to the music, and what made the music impactful was its impact on our life as a work of art. And I am so alarmed by what I see when I go online around, because I obviously love music so much, I get fed a lot of algorithmic stuff about music and the constant arguing by mostly gay fans of musical artists about their Spotify numbers or their Billboard stats as if that matters, as if there is any correlation between that and the value of art is so disturbing to me. And I think it is very disturbing to Madonna, which is why she made this song.
Mm-hmm.
And though I know that Madonna likes to be popular, and though I, of course, want the art I love to be popular because I believe the art I love is meaningful and I want meaning to find the most amount of people, I don't think that it matters if a song peaked at number two and never made it to number one. You know what I mean? Like Material Girl is no less impactful in the mass culture,
Yeah.
or Frozen is no less impactful. And so I think that there is something intrinsically disturbing about what the internet has done to our relationship to art. Um, and I think it has a lot to do with how we value art. I remember when I realized, like, when in the days of like Napster and torrent sites, when all my friends were telling me they were illegally downloading music and movies, I'm like, don't you realize that like I am a writer, I'm an artist who makes art, like that is like taking away the value of what we do. And I very much worry about a world where everyone thinks both that art should be free and that they can just take it, but also where they conversely think that the value of art has to do with
Yeah.
metrics of how it did in a marketplace that is kind of meaningless. And I think when you grow up and you've been on this earth long enough and you see that many times the art that's popular in its era is not the art that survives. So much of the books we read were not popular when they came out. They become canon because they said something deeper. Like I just hope we can move away from that. Like I really think that if we don't start thinking of art as having a value that's deeper than commercial success, we as a species are doomed because art is our great gift and art is how we communicate our violence and our trauma and our pain and our joy and
Hmm.
everything that Madonna believes in. And so for me, this whole the whole conversation around that feels so hard to have. And that is not to say that I wasn't thrilled when Confessions was number one all over the world. This time, like that did feel amazing as a
Yeah.
long fan to see her finally, be embraced by mass culture in that way. But that doesn't mean that it's good. You know what I mean? Like we are the judges of whether something moves us or not.
Yeah.
And so to me, this song is clearly very meaningful to Madonna. And it's meaningful to me because I think she is saying she did it all for love. And I think that's why she's lasted so long and why we love her so much is we know that even though she wants to be successful, she's never going to sacrifice her values for success. She took the boldest risks at the height of her career, making things like Erotica and the Sex Book and the Human Nature video and,
Yeah.
Truth or Dare and constantly putting queer issues at the forefront of her work when she could have made much more commercial choices. And she didn't. And I think what she's telling us is you have to do it all for love. Success is a lovely bonus, but it's meaningless if the work isn't coming from your heart.
Yeah, that's why I think obviously don't distract me with numbers is the main lyric in that, but really to what we were just talking about a minute ago, it's your vision of me as a killer of joy is actually the real theme.
Yes. Well, I mean, the lyrics are kind of iconic. I mean, come on,
Yes.
don't comment on my ideas. It's so good. And also, I am obsessed with I got something I want to talk about. Like it reminds me of Rescue Me. Like
Hmm.
I'm talking and Rescue Me, which is obviously a Madonna classic. It reminds me a little bit of the Express Yourself opening.
Very, very much.
Very express yourself opening. And also it's like led to some of the best TikToks. Like have you seen that Charlie X has posted like
Three of
multiple
them. What's going on there? What's happening?
well, I mean, Charlie's in her American Life era, so she's
Hmm.
no, I actually the new Charlie XCX album is my favorite Charlie ever. I'm
Oh my
obsessed with it.
goodness.
I love it. But
Wow.
American Life is my favorite Madonna album, so there you go.
Yes, exactly.
Um, yes, anyway, I love Bring Your Love. I do want to say, because we haven't touched on it, that the Coachella performance was to me the thing that launched the era in the right way. I think I have never gotten, as a Madonna obsessive who has also written a book that deals with Madonna, I get a lot of DMs and texts about her a lot, and I love it.
Sure.
But many of them are negative. It's always like, what's she doing? Do you really like that? People love to rag on Madonna. And that night of Coachella, I got so many messages that were just like, she's back. And it was like suddenly overnight, everyone loved her again. It was wild. It was such a triumphant thing. And I think, I don't know. I remember hearing that's where I heard the song for the first time, and I was just obsessed. I was instantly obsessed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, her return to Coachella was pretty incredible because that 2000
I know.
that performance 20 years ago was absolutely unbelievable.
Were you there?
I was not. I
I was not
I'm
either.
I'm not going out to the desert. I'm sorry.
No, me
It's
neither.
just
Not even
I just
Madonna to get me to Coachella. I went to Coachella once and left after 20 minutes.
exactly right. Exactly
20
right.
minutes.
But it's also what I really love about this era and this album is that she's got like Coachella and Times Square, and then
Oh,
everything else are these smaller, intimate clubs, bars, even the
yeah.
Abbey that
I was
just
the Abbey. I was there, right
yes,
in the front.
yes, exactly. And that is that's what that's what the album is. That's what
Yeah.
she's talking about. So I love that she has played kind of uh
Hmm.
both sides of what this era could be.
Yes.
We haven't really talked exactly about the transitions of
Right.
the
You're right.
album yet because each of them are so insane, but the transition from Bring Your Love talk
To that.
right to
I know.
Danceteria.
Yes.
Talk
She
about
doesn't
it.
think she wants to
Talk
talk
about
about
it.
it.
I mean, there's something about Danceteria that this is not at all the first time that she has name dropped all of these people that were core to her beginning. It She did it on uh
Graffiti hard.
graffiti art on Rebel Heart, but this is in a different world.
Oh, she has tried to do, I think, a version of Danceteria before in terms of the looking back. Like one of my least favorite Madonna songs, to be honest, is Veni Vidi Vici from the
Yes.
Purple Heart. To me, that feels like she was attempting a version of Danceteria but hadn't found it. And this is like, I mean, it's already a Madonna classic. It's
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's I don't even know what to say. It's moving, it's exhilarating, it's incredible to hear her memorializing her contemporaries the way she did her idols in Vogue. Like in Vogue, she's looking back to the past, and here she's using almost the exact same cadence
Mm-hmm.
to memorialize those who were her best friends and contemporaries. It's beautiful. I mean, but we'd obviously heard a piece of it in the film, and I was kind of nervous because I was so obsessed with that little rap part about Debbie Mazar. Like, come on. Um, but I was like, oh God, are we not going to get more of those? Like, I thought that might be the only like
Mm-hmm.
spoken word piece. And then when I listened to the song and she got to that verse about, I mean, when I heard the Shafrazi to the beat, I was like, I
Shah
mean,
Fra Z. Oh,
the,
yeah.
my head was like turning. It makes our heads turn. Um, my
Oh my
favorite lyric
God.
on the album. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah, anyway, Danceteria is perfect.
Yeah, eh, and again, it's a repeated theme in that she has survived where her contemporaries have absolutely not. And that includes, friends to, just her musical contemporaries like Prince and Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston and
Of course,
that
George
she
Michael. Yeah.
George Michael, she is the one that has survived. And when she's putting out a song like this, it is it is the embrace of all of those people, and I love it, and it's
And
celebratory.
yeah. And I do want to say, I think it's really amazing when you said that because then I was thinking, oh, which of her contemporaries did survive? And I'm not saying these two people are her contemporaries, but to watch queer musical icons of our generation like Roisin Murphy and Boy George become so politically
Oh my
awful
God.
in their older age is perhaps unsurprising, but also because that's just what happens to a lot of people as they age, is they
Yeah.
to stay empathetic toward change. But what is so inspiring about Madonna is how much who she is now is still in line with that rebellious, countercultural, queer energy of 80s New York. Like she has not forgotten who she is. She has not become, yes, she is an older woman, I'm sure, in many ways. Like there was that great Bob the drag queen quote about how when he's working with her, one second she's the coolest woman in the world, the next second she's a boomer mom. And I'm like, I get it. I'm a dad. Like you turn it, you can't help but turn into something different. But she's so in touch with the core of who she is and why she is, and so curious about youth culture and counterculture and making correlations between the past and the present. And yeah, I think it's really beautiful.
It is. I love it. I love when I mean, I have sometimes a mixed relationship with how she brings like some of her like old lyrics into new songs. Sometimes I really, really love it.
Yeah.
Sometimes not so much. I think like Rebel Heart is a tough album sometimes, even with some great gems, but
Yeah.
she's constantly infusing this album and this song with those little bits and
know?
pieces. I just want to lose myself in the group. We're because we've been there since day one, we everything clicks, everything falls into place
Yeah.
perfectly.
When she self-references herself in ways that work, it's glorious, and
Yes.
sometimes it doesn't. But that's also what we have to love about an artist like Madonna is she takes risks, she tries stuff. It's not always going to be perfect, but she's never going to play it safe. And I feel like in this song, things that didn't work in previous songs, like Veni Vidi Vici or some
Yeah.
of the Rebel Heart songs, completely work. And if she had to take a couple of stabs that didn't work to get to this song, that's a fucking win. Like,
Yes.
because now we get to like bop along to her saying, he played my tape, everybody. Like everybody get up and dance. I mean, to be like invoking her giving that, iconic moment of giving the tape of everybody to Mark Kamens and then the chorus being everybody get up and dance. I mean, it's so moving. Like,
it really is.
four decades later, it's incredible.
I know we're gonna, get to the the ballads and the
Yeah.
personal emotional stuff. Um, but it's exactly right. Those are even in the context of an up-tempo dance song, those are still emotional beats.
Yeah.
Always,
Yeah.
always.
They
Do you
really
have
are.
a favorite line of that third verse?
Of Danceteria?
Yes, of that the breakdown.
Oh my God. I mean, the first time I heard it, I was freaking out. God, favorite line. I mean, oh, I mean, I will say this because I don't know if it's my favorite line. I am so moved by the Walk on the Wild Side interpolation and that she actually names the song. And that's to me, that's another example of her generosity as an artist, in addition to the fact that I've seen countless people finding out who, you know, Maripol and Martin Burgoyne and Mark Kamens and all these people are, or even the more famous ones like David Byrne
Yeah.
and B-52s and all them. Like it's introducing them to new people to name the song Walk on the Wild Side and then do the do 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 when of course Walk on the Wild Side was about the Warhol queens like Candy Darling and Holly Woodlawn and the
Yep.
kind of connection she's making between the memorializing of queer culture that Lou Reed did and what she's doing. It's very moving.
And
So that was my
that's
favorite. I think Walk on the Wild
absolutely.
Side. My favorite lyric is do 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 do.
You know what? Even though there's something very baby shark about it, about how she does it, which totally cracks me up. I love that Lou Reed thing too, because that's what I've seen more almost than anything from that section that people are discovering is
Yeah.
the Warhol
Yeah.
dolls of it all.
Yes.
I love that. I
What's your
also
favorite line?
well, it's my favorite because of the response to it. It's the B-52s had money to burn because then Fred Schneider was like, "We had money." He posted that and it was
I saw that.
so funny.
But wasn't it a reference to their song? They have a legal tender.
I think it was. I mean, maybe I don't know if it was quite that intentional. I think it might have been just a really simple burn to burn rhyme.
I mean, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I
It
do have like
is.
my weird Danceteria fantasy is that she does a remix either with Debbie Harry because she's obviously also referencing Rapture, but I think she
Yes.
should do a remix with all the surviving people who are in the song. She should get David Byrne and the B-52s
Can you
and
imagine?
Nile Rodgers and
Oh,
also just like a moment because I get very annoyed. And yes, Like a Virgin is not like a top tier Madonna album once you take her whole career. But I've seen so many posts about like Madonna's best producers, and nobody ever includes Nile Rodgers. And to me, Nile Rodgers is one of the greatest musicians of all time. I mean, if you look at his career from Chic
hmm.
with Diana Ross and Bowie and Madonna and onward, like he is a visionary who's also survived everything. And it's bizarre to me that he's not considered more kind of integral to her journey.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, any of her black producers have not even
Yeah.
don't even get the same amount of screen time as
Then maybe we should get to the next song and
the
talk about
brain lender.
the
Maybe let's do it. We're
problem
gonna
of racism in the Madonna fan community.
T. Absolutely. All right, let's do it. We're gonna do Read My Lips next, which is maybe one of her like closest to doing the spoken through the grill.
Oh,
Uh
girls. Yes.
Not my favorite, not my favorite, but
No, she's at the Madame X tour date that I saw. She told the audience that she will do everything that people hate. So if they hate the grills, she'll wear them even more.
see, but
And of
that's
course, I
actually
applauded.
fantastic.
I know, of
It
course, I was like, yes.
That was great, which is what again, everything that Bring Your Love is about is like that, is which is
Yeah,
wonderful.
I just want to say, I mean, I think the song is good. It's
Hmm.
not my favorite on the album. It's not my least favorite on the album.
Hmm.
It I am more interested in the response to the song and in the response to Madonna making Madame X with other reggaeton artists. And I happen to love
Yeah,
reggaeton and I speak Spanish or when Madonna collaborates with hip hop artists, and I also love hip hop. Like Madonna as a cultural force has tried to teach us to be curious about all culture, about all genres, about all humans. And I find it so bizarre that so much of her core fan base seems to react so negatively anytime she collaborates with anyone who's not like another white female pop musician. It's like the problem is not that they don't want collaborations. They do want collaborations with Kylie Minogue, you know.
sure.
They don't want collaborations with people who sing in Spanish or
Hmm.
rap. And I believe she called them out once on Instagram for this, if I remember correctly,
I think so.
um when she was in the studio, I think with Stara, and people were like, no more hip hop or whatever, and she kind of just put them in their place. But it's very disturbing to me because I love what she represents, and I'm like, how can all these people who claim to love her be so uncurious about other musical genres? Like, you should be listening to reggaeton. It's amazing. Some of the best musicians in the world right now are coming through that genre, and Madonna knows it, and you should too. Like,
And we talked in the previous episode too, just how much the move to Portugal
yeah,
impacted that and opened her up to Spanish performance. And not like Spanish language has not been a part of her career since the beginning anyway.
yeah,
La Isla Bonita is still like her second or third highest
yeah. No, it's one of
streamed
her
song
signature hits. Yeah,
ever.
I
And
know.
video, it is one of her all-time most popular songs. So it's been a part of her. This isn't new for her. I think sometimes people feel like
Yeah,
doing this feel like, Medellin or whatever, like it was new that she was doing it. Like, no, this has been a core part of her.
yeah. I agree. And I think it's very these are hard conversations to have these days in a nuanced way, but like
Yeah.
I think it's tied to Madonna's desire to reflect the world back to her audience. And when you look back at like Vogue, for example, which I guess is the one of her most contentious things now, because I see so many people saying she appropriated queer culture and um, I think that we are much more evolved when it comes to conversation about cultural appropriation. But I think what makes Madonna so singular is that when she does collaborate with other cultures, always makes a point of bringing them with her. So, when she did Vogue, she turned all those dancers into stars. I mean, I still know them all by name. I think every gay man of our generation knows every one of her Blonde Ambition dancers by name. They're stars to us. They were special to us. And
Yeah.
similarly with Madame X, like I do also speak Portuguese, and I've been very inspired by Brazil and Portugal, but like I did so much more research into fado music and Funana and Orma
Hmm.
and all these artists because of her. And she brought those batucadeiras with her on tour. She exposed a whole culture to the world and gave them a space near her, you know, in her spotlight. And she didn't do it superficially. Like so much of the Portuguese music she was exploring was rooted in like in the Black culture that Portugal tried to silence because they didn't want them to have a voice. And like she does her research. Like I think one of the things I love most about Madonna is what a nerd she is. Like she is so nerdy. Like she loves research and books and history and I don't, that's what makes her special. And I guess I just don't understand why any Madonna fan, someone who believes that she's a true artist, would want to stop her from exploring more of the world. So to me, it is very exciting that she's still, even on Confessions 2, is like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you are getting a track with a reggaeton artist because this is what inspires me and who I am.
Yes, I absolutely agree. So I know you have a limited time today, and
Oh shit. Okay. We can
we
do
are only
15 more minutes. 15 more
well,
minutes?
I have an idea
Yes.
because we're only like 6 songs into 16. I think we need
Part two.
Confessions 2, and we'll come back
Okay.
and finish. But let's wrap with the next song,
Okay.
Everything, and then we'll and yes,
Oh my God, we're gonna
we'll
do Confessions 2 too.
we're gonna
I
do
love it.
Confessions 2 too. Sorry, that's just what it is. All right,
Am I being
everything.
filmed, by the way, or are we just doing it in print again?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
decided. I think I
Nice.
might want to show this. So I don't, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Okay, Confessions 2 too. Um,
Confessions 2 too. And
so everything. Yeah, what do you
we'll
think about
close with
everything?
everything. Oh, I love everything. I mean, I can say that really pretty easily about every song on this. It's hmm, everything is crystallized. I every song where it feels very focused on the recurring themes of spirituality, of dance,
Hmm.
of even the individual element of dance. Because sometimes, like this is a song that feels less like danceteria or other things where you're really kind of with people. I
Hmm.
feel this almost like the way I feel so free, where I could just be, my eyes are closed and I'm just thinking and moving, and there's no one else there.
Oh, wow.
And it just feels very centering. But then, there's it's not okay. I don't fuck with it. And then my eyes open.
I know. I know. The first time I heard this song, I was like, what? And then she kept saying it again and again in the song. I'm like, um, I just love that the song is, I think, about how everybody is isolating inside on their phones,
Mhm.
right? Somebody asked me
Well,
if it was about COVID, and I was like, I don't, maybe it's about, but I don't think so. I think it's more about how like nobody is in community anymore. Like we live these far more isolated lives
or
and
purely online lives.
or purely online lives, yes. And
Yeah.
that
What
we
did you
have,
just say? Your words have no meaning.
right. I will say something about the vocal delivery in this song is exhilarating.
Hmm.
It feels like she's playing with what her voice can do, singing in a different way. It's interesting. Like if I had to rank the songs, it might be toward the bottom for me, even though I love it. There is no bad. I mean, it's a perfect album, so
Yeah.
it doesn't move me as much as some of
Hmm.
the other ones, but I do think its core message is very necessary. And the energy of it, the kind of brashness of the song, how in your face it
Yes.
is really fun.
Oh, I love that too. All right. Well,
All right, wrapping
this
up
is
Confession 1-1.
this is Confessions 1-1. Abdi, I realized we just like got right into our conversation because, we're just old
Because
friends
we're past.
now. And I didn't even introduce you. So let you take this moment to introduce yourselves as we close, and then we will go to Confessions 2 later.
My God. I'm Abdi Nazemian. I I'm an author, a screenwriter, a producer, a Madonna obsessive, and if you are going to show this, The Adventures of Abdi is my Zoom screen name at the moment because that is a book, a children's book that Madonna wrote about me. I think
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that is the
I think
story
so.
I tell. I
Yep.
think it's I think it's true. She was aware of my existence. That I know.
Yes.
Uh, and anyway, I love her. I adore you. It's so fun to talk about Madonna with people who take her as seriously as we do and who care about her artistry. So, yeah.
Me too. This is fun. I love that we get to uh revisit this series because it has been so long. So much has happened since
No.
then. My goodness.
Well, I haven't gone back and really reread. You did point out to me that I had kind of predicted Confessions 2 would
Hmm.
happen. But
Yeah,
um but I wonder what else I said because that was a long time ago and we change. Our relationship to the art changes as we get older.
absolutely. I just reread all of them just leading up to
Stupid. Did you say
today.
anything you regretted?
Um, I don't think so. I don't ever regret anything. So no.
Absolutely no regrets.
Absolutely no regrets. So no. But I love that we had our, make your own Madonna album, your own greatest hits.
Well, yeah,
Uh
and we have to do that with this one, right? Didn't what did we do?
and
We had to pick
now
one
we
song per album.
yes, it's only one song per album. So
So
we'll have to
next
yes,
time, we'll pick the
on
one
the
song.
on the next episode, we'll each have to bring with us one song from Confessions 2 that we're going to add
Well,
to
I will say
our
this to
album.
whet the appetite for our next conversation. Other than Danceteria, I think all my favorite songs on the album are coming up.
Without question, we are
Yeah.
on the same page. We're
Okay.
going to need this much time just to get through the last two songs, I think. My
I mean,
goodness.
I'll end with this. It's impossible to get off a call with you because you're too delightful. I'll end with the fact that I listened to the album for the first time on a plane from LA to London. It was a night flight, so everybody was asleep, and I was just praying the internet would work, the Wi-Fi, and it did. And so I listened to the album on a plane, and I was obviously obsessed with it, but I was not ready because I hadn't read anything. I hadn't read reviews yet. I did not know where she was going. I did not think she was about to get to like some of the most vulnerable, heartbreaking songs of her career. And I was I was in tears by the end. I was so shocked just and planes are so evocative to me. They're so emotional. I always cry at movies. If a movie doesn't make me cry in a plane, it's not any good. But like, oh my God, it was such a dramatic kind of way to experience it for the first time. And what she does on the end of the album is just, oh,
It's yeah, just a career moment.
yeah.
So
Yay, I can't wait to talk about it.
yes, Abby, thank you so much. This was
Thank you.
so fun, and I'm actually so glad that we get to break this into two and do
I think
more.
the album deserves it.
I think it does too, because we had a lot to break down over the last 7 years before even really getting to it. So we there was a lot to cover.
Yeah.
So I can't
Okay.
wait.
We'll talk again soon.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, my
Bye.
friend.
Bye.